before big K-pop groups like Stray Kids and BTS. And really that idea of 5 to 6 member groups with strong flower boy visuals started to boom in the K-pop industry in the 90s. And I wanted to introduce you to some of the OG flower boy groups. The hottest groups back then were H.o.t, Jack's Kiss, Shinhwa, girl groups being like SES, Pinkle, Baby Fox, just to name a few. I made a short video about Kim Hwan Sung's story, but a lot of people wanted to know the detailed version of it. So I really wanted to tell what kind of an amazing singer that was once here with us, and that was really the OG of flower boy. And growing up in Asia, like, you learn to respect your elders or people who are older than you because they came first to pave that way for you. And K-pop wouldn't be K-pop today without the people who were here before us. And just to explain the brief K-pop fandom culture back in the 90s to 2000s, and because we didn't really have social media, how we're able to connect to our favorite stars like today, back then was all about meeting up with your celebrities at concerts, fan meets, fan signings, and there was a lot of stalking, like literally stalking, where fans would get taxis. Like, they would hire taxi drivers to follow around their favorite stars all day. There were fans who literally were intruders. Somehow they got into their favorite star's dorm room, took photos of their celebrities sleeping, take their underwear. I mean, it used to be crazy. These days, those can be criminal, but back then, it was like the norm. You see how fans were so crazy about these celebrities, more than today, in my opinion. Jealousy back then worked at a whole different level. If there was a slight rumor that your favorite boy group member were hanging out or going out with like another girl group member, literally, you would get death threats. The girl group member would get so much death threats that she couldn't even go out. I mean, not much different like than today's K-pop world, where back then also like crazy hairstyles and crazy fashion that would go trending and everybody would copy. And from what I heard, it was even a stricter schedule and a lifestyle to become a celebrity back then. Stricter diets, like you had no personal life at all. There was no laws to really protect celebrities. Everything was also 100% live singing back then. You were really criticized if you were lip syncing. So most idols and singers would literally full on dance and full on sing. Hardest thing to do. You guys know I was previously a singer in South Korea, and it is hard to sing live and dance, but it takes a lot of training. But at least today we have like backup vocals. You get like multiple chances to film on the music shows. You get to have like live vocal takes and then put that on top of like the dance real takes. So I really respect idols back in the 90s to 2000s because the work was intense. And among sea of many groups who wanted to rise to stardom, one of the groups was named NRG. They debuted in 1997 as a group of 5 members. Not only do they stand for literally energy, but wrote NRG. Apparently their group stands for New Radiancy Group, representing boys who freshly radiate. The members were Lee Seung-jin, Chun Myung-hoon, No Yoo-min, Moon Sung-hoon, and Kim Hwan Sung. And I personally say NRG was the OG of the flower boy groups. There was no other groups like NRG where all 5 members were literally the freshest, beautiful flower boy looking members.
너 알고 있었잖아. 저 정말 초등학교 2학년 때까지 정말 있었어요. 반제 같은 경우에는 모르겠어요.
Other groups that was hot, like H.o.t, Shinhwa, g.o.d, they were known to be more masculine, while NRG brought that fresh, youthful, cute kind of image. And let's face it, no offense, back in the 90s, getting surgery was not as common as today. I've been in the industry, so I know 99% of people get something done. But back then, to have these kind of visuals with no surgery is like, wow. So out of the group, Kim was the maknae, or the youngest one, and he was a sub-vocal. In K-pop, everybody has some kind of position, main vocal, the eldest, the youngest, the rapper, whatever, and everybody to have an identity and position in the group. So Kim Hwan Sung was born on Valentine's Day in 1981. He was a normal student and he was actually preparing to go overseas to Chicago to study. But he says that one day he literally randomly just went to an audition because he felt like it. He wasn't expecting for any outcome, but he ended up making it. From what I heard back then, there was no trainee time. Nobody was really a trainee. You just were scouted and you were put on stage within a couple months. So as long as you had the looks and confidence back then, you were put on stage and became a star within a couple months. Kim debuted in his first group in 1996 called Kpop, but the group was not successful. The group dissipated pretty quickly and Kim was training with other trainees that are now famous stars today. But eventually he would pick and join a group, NRG, and debut again in 1997. Kim quickly gained a lot of fans for being an idol who wore headbands. He had a lot of Nuna fans or girls that was older than him. He had that signature long hair. Today, a lot of people compare him to Shiny Onyu, a Stray Kids member. NRG was not as of a hit in the beginning like H.o.t and g.o.d and Shinhwa, but they did get a lot of fandom in China. They sold thousands of copies of their albums in China, so they went back and forth to do their promotion. Despite Kim's flower boy looks, he was known to be pretty masculine. He was the youngest, but he took care of all the other members. But at the same time, he was pretty quiet, he wasn't loud, and he was pretty reserved. And because of his well manners, he befriended a lot of famous celebrities like members from H.o.t, g.o.d, SES, and Pinkle. He was friends with them. There was even rumors that Kim and one of the members in SES dated. Again, because of that, there were a lot of threats and a lot of drama going on, but who knows, maybe that's just a rumor. Kim also was on his way of becoming an actor. He acted in sitcom dramas, acting as the heartthrob boy. And when asked what his wishes were, he would say, "I want our group to win #1 on music charts one day." As of right now, I looked everywhere and I cannot find their exact scheduled date of when they traveled to China before Kim's case. And this is important because everybody thinks that this case, Kim's case, is related to their China promotions, but I can't find the dates. I mean, it's still unknown what caused Kim to pass away. So the only official report that I can find is that sometime before June 6th, the group NRG went to China to do some promotions. Again, I don't know how long that was, 2 weeks, a month, who knows? It's important information, but... So on June 6th in Korea, Kim complained to his members about a sore throat. And he told his members that he was actually gonna go to the hospital for a cold. Now his members started making fun of him, obviously as boys might do, oh my god, you're a grown man, why are you going to the hospital for a cold? And the members were just being boys to their maknae, right? So Kim went to the hospital on their 6th, and I guess he was feeling worse than he thought, that he actually stayed at the hospital to get the treatments. During those short days, fans found out that he was at the hospital, and to reassure fans, because fandom was crazy back then, if someone found out that you're at the hospital or whatever, people will go crazy, right? So he even left a voice message recording for his fans saying that he's okay. I miss you guys, I'll be better, and we'll see you soon. But of course, nobody knew that that would be one of his last messages he would leave to his fans. Just 3 days into the hospital, rapidly, things started to get worse. Kim was reportedly having high fever and difficulty breathing. And just like that, only 3 days in, he was transferred to ICU. According to his older sister who was besides him, he was somewhat conscious when the doctors were telling him what was happening to him. And one of his last words was to his sister saying, quote, "Am I going to die, sister?" In ICU, Kim's oxygen levels dropped dangerously. And according to the doctors, the unknown virus or bacteria spread too quickly throughout the body, and he was diagnosed with acute respiratory and could no longer breathe on his own. So the doctors decided to do an emergency surgery to put him on life support because he no longer could breathe on his own. And while he was on life support, I guess because of lack of oxygen and complication, he was also pronounced brain dead.
자신은 저렇게 매일 혼수 상태 아들에게 격려를 해줬답니다. 내가 이런 일은 정말 기쁜 일인데 나 잘못하면 죽을 수도 있는데 그러면서
The doctors told the family that he actually had no chance of returning to normal. And back then, there were like news media and reports that came into the hospital room. I don't know if the family allowed this or this was just a thing back then, but they took photos and videos of like how Kim was doing. Your loved ones, your mother and your sister, seeing your son in this position and knowing that he will not have a normal life anymore. I mean, this is not life. Nobody wants to be put in this position. At least I wouldn't be. I mean, the family just knew that this was not what Kim would want. And they did make the difficult, most heartbreaking decisions to take the life support off. And on June 15th, 12:05 a.m., Kim was pronounced deceased at only 19 years old. In South Korea, even still now, autopsies are also kind of taboo. And unless you were murdered or suspected of foul play, getting autopsy is kind of seen as like disrespectful and heartbreaking for the families to like cut open your loved ones. Getting an autopsy was actually seen as killing the person twice. So Kim's body was cremated with the family's decision, and the doctors back then ruled the cause of death as acute respiratory syndrome due to unspecified virus. His fans were devastated, and in Korea, like paparazzis, fans, and everyone is able to kind of be at the funeral. And then I believe actually cremation and things like that is private with only close family members. It was a huge shock for everybody, and a lot of, celebrities also attended his funeral. Crazy to think that, again, this healthy young star that was just singing and dancing a couple days before was now deceased. The part that is still a mystery is that it was only known in 2003, according to the media, that SARS and influenza was going around China, and China was to be blamed for spreading this virus. And according to the media, it was actually going around for a while now, but it was only later that people found out about this. So people might have had this virus like way before 2003. I don't know if it would be affected in 2000 when Kim died. So people are speculating that Kim might have contracted this virus in China way early on when it actually started. But because his body was cremated and the virus was found later on, we would never know if this really was the case. This is what just experts and people believe happened. But again, without an autopsy and actually finding the evidence, maybe it was something else. Why didn't the other members contract this? When did they actually go to China for the promotions and came back? Because it could have been like a month or two since that's passed, and maybe he didn't get this from China. Maybe he got this somewhere in Korea, or maybe it was already in Korea. The doctors maybe got it wrong. Maybe it was something else. So technically, it is a mystery, only a speculation that it was SARS and influenza virus. And it was in 2003, 3 years since Kim has passed, when NRG got their first #1 on music charts. They honored their first win to Kim. And because this was their first win in 6 years, the members say that they worked so hard to think of something creative and amazing to get that #1, to make amazing music for the fans, and to have Kim's wishes come true, which his wish was to win #1. The rest of the members went on to become famous celebrities in Korea. I'm sure you guys have seen their faces before. Maybe you didn't know that they were an idol in the past. So they went on to become older and mature and still, work in the entertainment industry. And it is so sad to see their members, Kim, his time was stopped at age 19. Throughout the years, of course, the members stayed in contact with Kim's parents and go to his memorial, bring their new album posters. They're still releasing music till today. There's only 3 members left in the group. One of the members did leave in 2005. And whenever it's Kim's birthday, which is actually Valentine's Day, they leave messages on their social media. And the members say that Valentine's Day is not Valentine's Day for them. It is the day that Kim passed away. And it was so sad to hear Kim's mother say, quote, "All the other mothers' kids come home for holidays. My son can't. And that's when it hurts the most." And in 2022, 22-year anniversary since Kim has passed, Kim was brought back as a virtual avatar. They made an avatar that can dance along with the members. They used, AI technology to bring his voice back as similar as it can. And, just letting the music fans today know what kind of amazing singer used to be here with us. After seeing the son's avatar, his mother said, quote, "Dear son, it's been so long. I'm so happy you were born as my son. Don't be sick over there. Let's meet again one day and let's live a long, long time then. And it does still remain a mystery technically of what Kim really contracted. But I do think it's amazing that hopefully in the future in technology, you know, we are able to use virtual reality to maybe bring back those who has passed and feel like they are still here with us. Life is short and you never know what's gonna happen, so do what you love to do. I think Kim loved to sing and dance, and I have been on stages before, so I know what it feels to just make music and be on stage, and that is what we live for, to follow our hearts. So let me know what you guys have thought about today's video. If you want to see more videos and songs by NRG, I'm going to leave a link down below. Remember, your like in this video is going to really help me to continue creating these videos so that I can spread the messages of these cases. Thank you for watching, and hit that notification bell because I reply to all my early birds. See you in my next video.